Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Monument. Today we're going to make a video on the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5. In this video we'll also be talking about the Kia EV6. Allow me to declare this video is not financial advice. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes and for educational purposes. Both EVs have estimated of over 300 range on a charge in their rear wheel long range configuration. Now the Kia EV6 and Hyundai Ioniq 5, these vehicles ride on the same platform and are set to hit the dealerships in the coming months, and they've received official EPA range and efficiency rating. The rear wheel drive long range models go the furthest, with the EV6 rated at 310 miles of range and the Ioniq 5 rated at 303 miles of range. The EV6 will also be available with a cheaper standard range commodification, with the 58.0 kilowatts per hour battery providing enough juice for 232 miles of range. Hyundai and Kia's newest electric model, the Ioniq 5 and the EV6, share the same electric global modular platform and are due to go on sale this winter. Now the EPA has released official estimates for the range and efficiency of the Ioniq 5 and the EV6, and both models can go over 300 miles on a single charge in their rear wheel drive long range modification. This is absolutely incredible because these two vehicles will take the world by storm. These two vehicles, they're both hatchbacks, which means that a lot of people will be buying them, especially younger people who love hatchbacks. Younger people who want an electric car but a hatchback car, these cars are perfect. Hyundai and Kia are actually beating companies like Tesla to the punch because Tesla does not have a hatchback. The closest thing Tesla has to a hatchback is the Model 3. Now the sleeker Kia EV6 is more efficient and it can travel farther than the boxy Ioniq 5. Now the RWD, the rear wheel drive standard range EV6, using a 58.0 kilowatt per hour battery that has the range miles of 232 miles, less than the equivalent Ioniq 5 by 12 miles. The base EV6 also returns 117 mpg combined compared to the Ioniq 5's 110 mpgs. Now the standard range EV6 is destined for American market, but the standard range Ioniq 5 Faith seems to be geared towards a different market. While it's listed on the EPA's website, it is absent from the Hyundai's website and the companies wouldn't comment on its availability. So upgrading to the long version model net a 77.4 kilowatts per hour battery, which offers a 310 and 303 miles of range on rear-wheel drive EV6 and a Ioniq 5, respectively. Efficiency is slightly worse on the long-range model, with the RWD EV6 earning 117 mpg combined and the RWD Ioniq 5 receiving 114. Now as for pricing, it hasn't been announced yet, but we expect that the Kia EV6 to start around $45,000 for the rear-wheel drive standard range model. The Ioniq 5 starting price will likely be similar. Kia lists EVX Plus, Kia lists EX Plus, and the GT line trim levels for the EV6, with a more powerful GT variant coming later. Hyundai said the Ioniq 5 will be available in SE, SEL, and limited trim levels. So for one, this is fantastic that both these vehicles are coming to the market in the next coming months in the winter. This is absolutely fantastic and they look fantastic. Now as for the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5, having a max range of 303 miles, we're going to talk about that a little bit more, about how fantastic this car looks and how different it looks in the entire vehicle market. There's nothing else that looks like this vehicle, and I think that's a good thing. Having something that looks different in this modern age has proven to be a very remarkable strategy. Now for comparison's sake, the Tesla Model Y gets a 326 miles of range in its most capable form. The Ioniq 5 Kia counterpart, the EV6, manages slightly better as well as up to 310 miles of range, as we said before, but it's interesting that they can actually closely compete with the Tesla Model Y that gets 326. And let me remind you, EV vehicles in cold weather actually perform less efficient because it requires more power for the battery to warm up to optimum temperature. In cold weather, these vehicles, every EV vehicles, they just perform less mileage. So in European countries that are extremely cold, such as Scotland, Norway, Iceland, these vehicles will perform less efficient when it comes to miles compared to somewhere like California or Florida, America, where the weather is a lot more warm and it's easier for these vehicles to get up to temperature. And sometimes it's not even a requirement because they're already up to temperature because of the warm weather. Apart from that, the vehicles, they perform the exact same, just less miles in cold country. The colder the country, less miles you get. But I'm not singling out any particular EV. This is something that affects all EV. And as for right now, I don't think it's the biggest problem that we have to focus on. Hyundai has suggested that the base price for the Ioniq 5 is likely to be around $50,000, which sort of tracks with the price seen in places where it's available now. London, where there's already a bunch of Ioniq 5s on the road, and they look incredible. And typically when people buy base model hatchback vehicles, they're getting them for around 22,000 pounds, maybe 25,000 pounds sometimes, depending on the performance. Because when the Tesla Model 3 first came to the UK, I believe it was around 32 grand or 33 grand, but the price has gone up to 35 grand, 38, and now it currently sits at around 40 grand for the Model 3. Because the demand of those vehicles are so high, they have to move the price up because it just means more money for them. Why not? Now, Hyundai does have more upcoming planned EVs. EVs such as the Ioniq 6 and the Ioniq 7. With the 5 being the first to launch early next year, Hyundai says that the Ioniq 5 will be based on the EV45 concept crossover that was unveiled at the Frankfurt International Motor Show in 2019. The Ioniq 6 will roll out in 2022 as well. That's actually incredible, and will be based on the Prophecy concept, which was shown in March 2020. Ioniq 7 will be the large SUV. Ioniq 7 will be the large SUV and will hit the streets in 2024. So this is actually incredible to know about Hyundai. They're doing great things and they're planning well ahead for the future of EV. And they're bringing their company closer and closer to competing with bigger manufacturers in the EV space. Hyundai in-house Bill Motors has already allowed the automaker to take control of efficiency while still allowing it to build a platform capable of powering a performance vehicle. That being by raising the overall motor speed by a whopping 70% compared to its existing EV offering on today's market, allowing the vehicle to output as much as 600 brake horsepower. Additionally, the automaker has worked on some magic with its gearing to improve efficiency while allowing the vehicle to feel quick, torquey on the road. So that's quite important. And if you're looking on the screen right now, you can actually see a diagram of this motor that was built by Hyundai in-house. So they built this themselves. And obviously at the bottom on the left, you can obviously see the electric motor. Now on the top, you can actually see the inverter, and on the right, you can actually see the transmission. And the fact that they're manufacturing it themselves just gives me more motivation for the future that they will continue to innovate, and this is good. This will help them to push towards competition of competing with the likes of Tesla, and that's even better in my book. Now I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, if I missed anything, you can leave a comment in the description. If you've got any questions or if I missed anything, you can leave a comment below in the comments. You can also follow us on Twitter, subscribe, leave a like. And we also have a Discord server and the link is in the description. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video.